Welcome back to Passionate Beauty Tales. I'm Zane. Let's dive into the story. I was almost asleep when someone started pounding on my front door, and that sound ended my quiet life. My name is Liam. I am 26 years old, and I live alone in a small rental house on the edge of Denver, Colorado. The place is nothing special. 2 small bedrooms, a narrow hallway, old wooden floors that complain with every step. The kitchen is cramped, the counters are scratched, and the fridge hums louder than it should. I hung a string of warm yellow lights across the front porch to make the place feel less empty at night. Most days follow the same pattern. I drive into the city, work at a mid-sized media company as a creative guy, then come home, eat something simple, scroll on my phone, and try not to think too much. At work, I make ad concepts, tighten scripts, edit videos, and sit in meetings where everyone talks in circles. At home, I sit in silence. 4 years ago, my parents died in a car accident. One morning they left for a weekend trip, and they never came back. No big warning, no slow goodbye, just one phone call that split my life into before and after. I do not have brothers or sisters. My closest relatives live in other states. Grief turned into a heavy coat I never really took off. So I learned to live small. Work in the day. Stay busy. Hike on weekends. Cook enough for one. Keep the house quiet. Make sure nothing moved fast enough to hurt. That Saturday night felt just like the others. I made a grilled cheese sandwich and a bowl of tomato soup. I ate at the small table by the window while the TV played some old sitcom I was not really watching. When I was done, I rinsed my plate under warm water and left it in the drying rack. The clock on the wall said 11:47 p.m. outside. The street was calm. A single car rolled by once in a while on the main road, but my block stayed still. No kids laughing. No dogs barking. My porch lights cast a soft gold glow on the front steps, but the rest of the yard was dark. I turned off the TV and walked to my bedroom, already thinking about how early I would have to wake up for a hike in the morning. I pulled on an old t-shirt and shorts, brushed my teeth, and let myself fall into bed. The quiet in the house was thick, but I was used to it. My eyes had just started to close when it came. 3 hard knocks. A short pause. 3 more, louder this time. I jerked upright in bed, my heart jumping hard against my ribs. Nobody came to my house this late. My friends texted, they did not just show up. My phone was silent on the nightstand. No missed call. No message. The knocking came again, faster now. I swung my legs out of bed and grabbed my phone, more out of habit than need. I walked down the hallway, the old floorboards creaking under my feet. The house felt strange, like it was holding its breath with me. At the front door, I hesitated. I thought about calling the police, then felt stupid. Maybe it was a neighbor. Maybe someone's car had broken down. I turned on the porch light and looked through the peephole, but the angle was bad. All I could see was a dark shape close to the door. Every warning my brain had ever stored started to flash. Still, I slid the lock back and opened the door a few inches. Cool night air rushed in, carrying the faint smell of wet pavement from a light rain earlier. I opened the door all the way, and there she was. Charlotte. She stood on my porch under the yellow lights, and for a second my body forgot how to move. Charlotte was my boss, the head of the creative department. 38 years old. Sharp, calm, the kind of woman who could quiet a room with just one look. At the office, she always wore clean lines and subtle colors. Her hair was usually pulled back. Her words were measured. Tonight, she looked different. She wore a deep green dress that hugged her body without trying too hard. Her dark hair was loose, falling around her face. Her eyes looked red and tired, like she had been holding back tears for hours and had only just stopped. One of her hands hung at her side, clutching her car keys so tight her knuckles were pale. Charlotte on my porch at midnight did not make sense. For 2 years, she had existed in my mind in a place I never let anyone see. I respected her as my boss. I admired her as a leader. But I also wanted her in a way I tried very hard to bury. She was older. She was in charge. She was everything I should not want. So I smiled in meetings. I did my work. I kept my eyes on the screen and my feelings locked up. Now the woman I had spent 2 years trying not to want was standing 3 feet away from me on my own porch, breathing hard, like she had been running. Charlotte, I said, my voice a little rough. Her name felt strange in my house. What are you doing here? She did not answer right away. Her eyes moved over my face like she was checking if I was really there. Then, without a word, She stepped past me into the house. I froze for a second, then shut the door behind her. Inside, the house felt even smaller with her in it. She walked straight to the little kitchen like she had been there before, even though I knew she had not. She pulled out a chair at the table and sank into it. Her shoulders dropped, like she had been holding herself together by pure force and finally ran out of strength. She set her keys on the table with a soft clink and stared at them. "Do you want water?" I asked. My voice sounded too loud. She did not look up. "Tea," she said quietly. "If you have it." I moved on instinct. Filled the kettle. Turned on the stove. Reached for the only box of tea I kept for cold nights. As the burner clicked on, I risked a glance at her. She looked broken. Not messy, not wild, just cracked in a way I had never seen at the office. There, she was always in control. Here, her mask was gone. "You scared me," I admitted as I set a mug on the table. "It is late." "I know," she said. Her voice was low, rough around the edges. "I am sorry." I wanted to say it was fine, but my heart was still racing. The kettle started to hum. I poured hot water into the mug and slid it toward her. She wrapped both hands around the ceramic like she needed the warmth to keep herself together. For a long moment, the only sounds were the ticking clock and the faint hum of the fridge. "I left a date," she said suddenly, eyes on the steam rising from her tea. "It went bad. Worse than bad." I pulled out the chair across from her and sat down, careful to leave space between us. "You could have gone home," I said softly. "To your place." She gave a small, tired laugh that had no joy in it. "I did not want to be alone," she said. Those words hit something deep in me, because I knew that feeling, the fear of your own empty rooms. She lifted her head and looked straight at me. Her eyes were wet, but there was something fierce behind them. "I am tired, Liam," she said. "Tired of pretending. Tired of doing the safe thing. Tired of acting like I do not feel what I feel." My palms started to sweat. "What do you mean?" I asked, even though some part of me already knew. She pushed the mug a little away and laced her fingers together on the table, like she was bracing herself. When she spoke again, her voice dropped so low I almost had to lean in to hear. "I should not be here," she said. "You were younger. You worked for me. People would talk. It could cause all kinds of trouble." My pulse pounded in my ears. "But I could not keep lying to myself," she went on. Then she stood up, walked around the small table, and stopped right in front of me. I stood, too, because sitting felt impossible. We were close enough that I could see the faint smear of mascara under her eyes, the way her lower lip trembled before she caught it with her teeth. She looked up into my face, searching, like she was trying to read the answer before she asked the question. When she finally spoke, her breath brushed my cheek. "I want you, Liam," she whispered. "I want you tonight." And in that 1 second, standing barefoot on my creaking floor with my boss inches away from me under the weak kitchen light, I knew nothing in my life would ever be simple again. I did not answer right away. I could not. Her words hung in the air between us, heavy and dangerous. "I want you tonight." The kind of sentence that could rewrite my whole life. Every warning I had ever heard started ringing in my head. She was my boss. She was older. We worked in the same department. If anyone found out, it could blow up both of our careers. HR rules, gossip, whispered jokes in break rooms, small looks in meetings. I could see it all. But there was something else, too. Under the fear, under the noise, something brighter. Want. A sharp, clear one I had spent 2 years trying to bury under polite smiles and safe answers. For a second, neither of us moved. Her chest rose and fell faster than normal. My hands felt useless at my sides. "You should sit," I said finally, my voice low. Her eyes searched my face for a sign, any sign. Then she nodded once and went back to her chair. I sat across from her again, but closer this time. "Tell me what happened," I said. "With the date." She let out a breath that sounded like it hurt. "It was supposed to be simple," she said. "My brother set it up. He thinks I am broken since the divorce and keeps trying to fix me with blind dates." I had heard she was divorced. Office chatter. A ring gone one day and never back. No one asked questions because no one was brave enough. I agreed because I was tired, she went on. Tired of saying no. Tired of people asking when I would move on. So I put on a dress, I did my hair, and I let him drive me to this fancy restaurant downtown. She stared at her hands as she spoke, like she was replaying every second. "The place was beautiful," she said. "White tablecloths, candles, Everyone dressed like they owned parts of the city. He was some tech executive. He started talking the moment we sat down. Her mouth twisted. 40 minutes, she said. 40 minutes of him listing his cars, his vacation homes, his wins. I could have been a coat on the chair. Then he started talking about women. About women my age. How we should be careful not to get too focused on careers. How my job seems intense for someone who should be thinking about kids. Heat rose in my chest. He said he respects strong women, she added, her tone sharp with tired anger, but then laughed about how women in creative fields are emotional and hard to manage. He asked if my team of younger staff ever got too attached to me, if anyone confused admiration with a crush. Her eyes flicked up to mine on that last word. Crush. My throat tightened. What did you do? I asked. At first I smiled, she said. That same polite smile I wear in meetings when a client says something awful and I have to keep the deal alive. Then something in me snapped. I realized I was spending my Saturday night letting a stranger tell me who I should be, after spending years building myself back from a marriage that broke me. She swallowed, and her eyes shone. So I put my napkin on the table, she said, stood up, thanked him for dinner, and walked out. I pictured it. Charlotte in a soft green dress, leaving some expensive restaurant while a shocked man watched her go. The image made me proud and angry at the same time. I went outside, she said. It was raining a little. I did not even care about my hair or my makeup. I just wanted to breathe. A cab pulled up. The driver asked where to. I stared at him and my mind went blank. I did not want to go home. I did not want to go back to that empty condo and sit with all the noise in my head. Her gaze locked on mine. I said your address, she whispered, without really thinking about it. I just knew I wanted to be somewhere that felt different. Somewhere that felt safe. My heart thudded harder. How did you even know my address? I asked, softer than I meant to. She gave a small, sad smile. Emergency contact forms, she said. Office records. I see more than people think. And I pay more attention to you than I should. Those words slid under my skin. I watched you after your parents died, she went on quietly. You came back to work too fast. I could see it in the way you stared at your screen. The way you smiled at jokes just a second too late. You kept doing the work, but something in you shut down. My throat felt tight. I had no idea she had noticed. You kept showing up anyway, she said. Day after day. You helped others with their projects. You stayed late to polish things. You never asked for special treatment. And sometimes, when you thought nobody could see you, you looked so tired and so sad it hurt to watch. I dropped my gaze for a second, blinking hard. Her view of me was so sharp it felt like standing under bright light. I wanted to ask if you were okay, she said. But I was your boss. I did not want to cross a line. So I kept it professional. I told myself I was doing the right thing. She leaned forward, both elbows on the table now. Tonight, she said, when that man talked about women like me as if we were broken toys, when he joked about younger people at work catching feelings, I realized something. I have spent years being careful. Years putting walls between myself and anything that looked like real connection. Years hiding things I wanted. And for what? So I could go home alone after another cold dinner and pretend I am fine. She shook her head slowly. I did not want fine, she said. I wanted real. I wanted honest. And when I thought about real, I thought about you. The words landed like a weight and a gift at the same time. I know this is wrong on paper, she said. I know what the rules say. I know what people would say. But I am so tired of acting like I feel nothing when I look at you. She stood again, taking a step closer. I stood too. The kitchen felt smaller than ever. You can tell me to leave, she said. Right now? Tell me it is too much. Tell me it is a bad idea. I will walk out the door, and we will go back to normal at work on Monday. Her eyes were bright and scared. I could see how much it cost her to offer that. Normal. Normal meant going back to the quiet ache I carried every time she walked past my desk. Normal meant watching her hold herself together in meetings and never being the one she leaned on. Normal meant safe, lonely, and numb. My hands were shaking. I did not know if it was fear or one or both. I cannot promise this will not get messy, I said, my voice low. I cannot promise it will not hurt sometimes. People talk. Jobs have rules. Life is unfair. I know, she whispered. But I am done pretending too, I said. I reached up and gently touched her cheek. Her skin was cool from the night air. She closed her eyes for a second, leaning slightly into my hand like she had been waiting a long time for someone to do that. I want you here, I said. Not just tonight. Not as a secret I am ashamed of. I want you as a real part of my life. If you walk out now, I will respect it. But I will not lie and say I want you to go. Her eyes opened. Relief and fear mixed there, like a storm and sunlight at the same time. Then tell me what you need, she said. Right now. I took a breath, so deep it almost hurt. I need to know you are not running from something, I said. That you came here because you chose me, not because you had a bad night, and I am easy to reach. Her answer came fast. I have been choosing you in my head for a long time, she said. Tonight I finally had the courage to show up at your door. Something inside me let go. The tight knot I had carried for years loosened. Okay, I said. Then stay. You can take the bed. I will sleep on the couch. We can slow down and talk more in the morning. She frowned a little. I did not come here just to sleep, Liam, she said. I know, I said gently. But I want to do this right. I want us to think with more than fear and adrenaline. I want you to wake up tomorrow and still feel sure. She studied my face, like she was measuring me against the men from her past. Slowly, her shoulders dropped. You are a good man, she said quietly. That scares me more than you know. I found an extra towel and a clean t-shirt for her. Showed her the bathroom. Tried not to fall apart at the sight of her toothbrush next to mine on the edge of the sink. When she went into my bedroom, I pulled a blanket and an old hoodie from the closet and set up on the couch. My mind would not stop racing. I wanted her so badly it was a physical ache, but the fear of losing my job, of losing her, of ruining everything sat right beside the desire. I must have stared at the dark ceiling for an hour. The old house settled around me with soft creaks. Somewhere outside, a car rolled by. Then I heard the bedroom door open. Soft steps down the hallway. I sat up as Charlotte appeared in the doorway, framed by the dim light from the kitchen. She wore my t-shirt, the hem hitting mid-thigh, her hair loose around her shoulders. The sight of her like that in my house made my chest tighten. I tried to sleep, she said, voice thin. I cannot. Do you need anything? I asked. Water. More tea. She shook her head and walked closer. I just do not want to be alone in there, she said. Those simple words broke whatever distance I had been trying to keep. Come here, I said. She sat beside me on the small couch. Our shoulders touched. She looked smaller than she ever had at the office, like the strong woman everyone knew had finally set down her armor. I lifted my arm, slow, giving her time to move away. She did not. She leaned in, resting her head against my chest. I wrapped my arm around her and held her there. For a while, we did not talk. We just breathed. Her heartbeat was fast at first, then slowly started to match the steady rhythm of mine. The house did not feel empty anymore. It felt full, heavy with all the things we had not said for years. I was just starting to relax when my phone buzzed on the coffee table, loud in the quiet room. I reached for it, half expecting a spam email or a late notification. One look at the screen dropped ice into my stomach. It was a message from Marcus, one of the senior managers at the company. The timestamp said 1:58 a.m. We need to talk first thing Monday. It is about you and Charlotte. My grip on the phone tightened. My heart kicked back into a sprint. Beside me, Charlotte felt my body tense. She lifted her head, eyes searching my face. What is it? She asked. I turned the screen so she could see. Her expression changed in an instant. The warmth in her eyes was replaced by something sharp and cold. In 1 second, the risk we had tried not to name stepped out of the shadows and sat down right between us. Charlotte stared at the screen for a long second, then looked at me. Who else has seen this? She asked quietly. Just us, I said. Her jaw tightened. She took the phone from my hand and read the message again like she was trying to pull more out of it than the words gave. It is vague, she said. He did not accuse us of anything. He just said it is about you and me. That does not sound good. I answered. No, she said. It does not. The fear I had felt earlier crawled back up my spine. Losing my job meant losing my last bit of structure. Losing her meant losing the first real connection I had let myself have in years. The thought made my chest hurt. Charlotte set my phone down on the table like it was a bomb. Then she took my face in both her hands. Her palms were cool, but her grip was firm. Listen to me, she said. We do not panic. We do not start lying. We stay calm and smart. Understand? I nodded, even though my heart was racing. I am not ashamed of being here tonight, she said. I am not ashamed of wanting you. But I am not stupid either. There are rules for a reason. Power, influence, fairness. All of that matters. So we fixed that part. How? I asked. First thing Monday, she said. I talked to Marcus. I stepped back from being your direct supervisor. You moved to a different team. All decisions around you go through him, not me. That takes the power imbalance off the table. My stomach twisted. The advanced creative team was intense, the projects bigger, the pressure heavier. I had thought about it before, but never asked. Do you think he will do it? I asked. If he has half a brain, yes, she said. He is tough, but he is practical. He cares about results and clean records. If he sees a way to protect the company and keep good people, he will take it. I watched her as she talked. This was the Charlotte I knew from work. Focused, sharp, planning 3 steps ahead. It calmed me in a strange way, but it also scared me because it reminded me how real this was. You should not have to fix this alone, I said. Her expression softened. I am not alone, she said. I came to you. That means something. We will handle it together. We sat on the couch again. She leaned against me, and I wrapped my arm around her. The message from Marcus sat like a weight in the back of my mind, but her body warm against my side kept me from spinning out. What if he already knows everything? I asked after a while. He does not, she said. There was nothing to see before tonight. Maybe someone noticed something small. A look, a moment. People like to build stories out of nothing. Right now it is smoke, not fire. We keep it that way. Her calm voice steadied me. I nodded into her hair. Tomorrow, she said, I go home. We stay off each other's phones. Sunday we stay quiet. Monday we talk to Marcus, then HR if needed. We do this the right way, or not at all. The phrase not at all made my chest clench. I did not want a version of my life that did not have her in it now that I knew how it felt. I do not want to lose you, I said bluntly. She shifted so she could see my face. Her eyes looked tired but sure. You will not lose me, she said. Not unless you tell me you want out. I will not vanish because things get hard. Her certainty sunk into me like a warm weight. We finally lay down on the couch again, her tucked into my side. Somehow, with her there, I drifted to sleep despite the fear sitting in the room with us. Morning came too bright. Sunlight slid through the thin curtains and landed across her face. For a second I just watched her sleep, soft lines, relaxed mouth, hair spilled across my chest. She looked younger like this, and more fragile. She woke slowly, blinking up at me, confused for half a second. Then she remembered and let out a quiet breath. Your couch is awful, she said. A small smile tugged at my mouth. Yeah, I said. I know. We untangled and moved into the kitchen. She stood barefoot in my t-shirt, making coffee like she had done it 100 times. I pulled bread from the cupboard and dropped a few slices into the toaster. It felt almost normal, domestic, like we had been doing this for years. The normal feeling made the fear feel even sharper. We cannot let anyone see us together today, she said, pouring coffee into 2 mismatched mugs. No chance meetings. No errands. I go straight home. You stay here. On Monday, we walk into the building like co-workers, nothing more. I hate that, I admitted. I do too, she said. But it is only for now. We play the long game, remember? We ate in silence for a while. Toast, eggs, coffee. Every time her hand brushed mine across the table, it sent a small shock through me. After breakfast, she went to change back into her dress. When she came out of the bedroom, makeup reapplied, hair brushed, her boss mask was almost back in place. Almost. Her eyes were still softer than the ones I saw in the office. She stood by the front door, holding her keys, and turned to look at me. Whatever Marcus says, she told me, you do not let him make you feel small. You have earned your place at that company. This is not some favor for a boy I like. This is a promotion you have already worked for. Her words warmed my chest. I will remember that, I said. She stepped closer and placed her hand flat on my chest, right over my heart. This, she said quietly, is mine. The job is just something we both do. I caught her wrist gently and pressed a kiss to her palm. I am in this, I said. Not just for a night. Her eyes shone. She gave a small nod, then leaned up to kiss me once, slow and sure, like she was sealing a deal. Then she was gone. The door closed behind her. Her car engine started, faded down the street, and my house fell into its old quiet. Only it did not feel the same as before. The silence now felt full, not empty. Sunday dragged. I tried to distract myself. Did laundry. Cleaned the kitchen. Went for a run until my lungs burned. Every time my phone buzzed, my heart jumped, but it was never her. We had agreed, but that did not make it easier. Night fell. I lay awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, thinking about the way she had asked for me, the way she had looked when she read Marcus's message. Strong and scared at once. Monday morning, the alarm sounded too early. I showered, dressed in my best shirt, and tied my tie with shaking hands. The drive into downtown felt like moving toward a storm. The office lobby was usual noise and glass and light, but everything looked different to me now. My stomach twisted as I swiped my badge and stepped inside. I did not see Charlotte. I did not expect to. She would have come in earlier or taken another entrance. That was the plan. At 9 sharp, I went to Marcus's office. His door was half open. "Come in," he called when I knocked. He sat behind his desk, tie loosened, thick file open in front of him. He waved me to the chair across from him and shut the door. My hands felt clammy. I sat and forced myself to meet his eyes. "I am going to be direct," he said. "There are rumors about you and Charlotte." The words hit hard, even though I knew they were coming. "Rumors," I repeated. "Yes," he said. "Nothing formal. Yet. But enough small comments to make me pay attention. I do not like surprises in my department." I took a slow breath. I heard Charlotte's voice in my head. "Do not panic. Do not hide. I respect Charlotte," I said carefully. "I care about her as a person. I also care about my work and this company." He watched me for a long beat, like he was weighing every word and every twitch of my face. Then he flipped a page in the file. "Charlotte has already submitted a request," he said. "She wants you moved to the advanced creative team under me." She listed performance reasons. "Your last campaigns, client feedback, numbers. It is a strong case." My chest tightened. She had moved fast. "Is that a problem?" I asked. "It is not a problem for me," he said. "You work hard. The team could use someone who can both think and execute. The question is whether HR sees this as a clean move or as a reaction to something inappropriate." The word inappropriate sat heavy between us. I thought of Charlotte in my kitchen, fingers wrapped around a mug of tea, eyes tired and hopeful. "If this transfer happens," Marcus continued, "you will no longer report to Charlotte. She will have no say over your evaluations, your raise, your assignments. That takes the direct power issue off the table. But if there is more I need to know, now is the time." My heart hammered. I could tell the whole truth and risk everything. I could lie and hope no one dug deeper. I thought again about the way she had looked. When she said she did not want to hide anymore. I thought about my own promise to myself not to live half alive. "I will not disrespect her by talking around her," I said quietly. "If HR has questions, I think they should ask us both." Marcus studied me another long second, then gave a short nod, like he had expected that answer. "Fine," he said. "I will process the transfer. HR already reached out this morning. They want to schedule a meeting with both of you this week." My stomach dropped. He clicked a few keys on his keyboard, then nodded toward my phone. "Check your email," he said. "They just sent it to you too." I pulled out my phone with shaking hands. There it was. A message from HR, subject line, meeting request, workplace conduct and reporting structure. Date and time set. No smiley faces, no warmth. Just formal words. "Thank you," I managed. "You have talent, Liam," Marcus said. "Do not waste it by being careless. If this is something real, not a game, then both of you need to be ready to prove you can handle it." I left his office with the email burning in my pocket. Back at my desk, I opened my messages. One new text waited from a number I now knew by heart. From Charlotte. HR reached out. "We meet them Wednesday. No panic. Dinner at your place tonight. We plan." I stared at the words, my pulse racing. The storm was here now. We were walking straight into it. And all I could do was hope that when it passed, we would still be standing on the same side. The rest of Monday crawled by like the clock was broken. I went through the motions at my desk, answered emails, joined a video call, took notes I did not really read. Every time I glanced at my inbox, the HR meeting invite sat there at the top like a warning. At 5, I shut down my computer and grabbed my bag. The walk through the lobby felt strange. I was sure every person could see right through me. I kept my face calm, my steps steady, like I was just any other worker going home on a Monday. The whole drive back to my little house, my heart kept switching between hope and fear. Hope because Charlotte wanted to meet and plan. Fear because HR was not some vague threat anymore. It had a date and time. When I pulled into my driveway, Her car was already there. The sight of it in front of my house made something in my chest loosen. I walked in and smelled garlic and tomatoes. Charlotte stood at the stove in jeans and a sweatshirt. Stirring sauce in a pan like this was just another weeknight dinner. Her hair was up in a messy knot, a few strands falling around her face. She turned when she heard the door and gave me a small, real smile. "Hey," she said. I let my bag drop and crossed the room in a few long steps. I wrapped my arms around her from behind and held on. She set the spoon down and leaned back into me with a soft sigh. "How bad was Marcus?" she asked. "He was blunt," I said, "but fair. He is processing the transfer. HR wants us Wednesday." She nodded like she already knew. "They copied me on the email," she said. This was always going to happen if anyone started talking. We ate at the small table. Spaghetti, simple salad, cheap red wine in mismatched glasses. For a few minutes we just focused on the food, the clink of forks, the familiar hum of my old fridge. Then she set her fork down and got to the point. "Wednesday," she said. "They will ask when this started. They will ask who made the first move. They will ask if I gave you anything you did not earn." "I know," I said. My stomach twisted just thinking about it. "We tell the truth," she said. "We say last weekend was the line we crossed. We say I requested your transfer before anything at work could be compromised. We say your record speaks for itself." "They might still see it as wrong," I said. "They might," she agreed. "They also might respect that we came to them first. We removed the power issue, and we are not hiding." Her eyes softened. "The one thing we do not do," she said, "is throw each other under the bus to save ourselves. If this costs one of us, it will not be because the other was a coward." I reached across the table and took her hand. "I am not going anywhere," I said. She squeezed my fingers. "Good," she said, "because I am done running." The days until Wednesday felt like waiting for a storm you can see from miles away. At work, I kept my head down. Marcus dropped a few heavier assignments on my desk, like he was testing me already. I leaned into it, stayed late, double-checked my work. If people were going to whisper, they would have to whisper around results. I caught quick looks in the break room. A couple of colleagues lowered their voices when I walked in. I heard my name once followed by Charlotte's, then a sudden change of subject. It stung, but I tried not to let it show. I did not see her much. A meeting in a larger group where she did not look at me any longer than anyone else. A glimpse of her in the hallway, her expression calm and distant in that way only she could manage. At night, she came to my house. We did not talk about work at first. We cooked. We watched mindless shows. She read poetry on the couch while I answered emails. She would slide her foot over to touch my leg just enough to remind me she was there. Tuesday night, as we lay in my bed facing each other in the dark, she whispered, "If they make it hard for you, if you want to walk away from all this, I will understand." I reached out and traced my fingers over her cheek. "You walked to my door and told me you wanted me," I said. "That was not nothing. I am here because I choose you. I will not let a meeting decide how I feel." She let out a shaky breath and rested her forehead against mine. We fell asleep like that, our hands linked between us. Wednesday morning, my stomach felt like it was full of rocks. I wore a clean shirt, dark jeans, the least wrinkled jacket I owned. HR's office was down a quiet hallway, away from the chaos of the main floors. When I arrived, Charlotte was already there, sitting in a chair by the door. She wore a simple black dress and a gray blazer, the professional armor she was known for. Only her eyes gave away the strain. "You ready?" she asked. "No," I said honestly. "But I am here." Her lips twitched. "Same," she said. The HR manager, a woman named Lisa, met us at the door. She was in her 40s, calm face, notebook in hand. A man from legal sat at the small conference table, a laptop open in front of him. "Thank you both for coming," Lisa said. "Please have a seat." We sat side by side, leaving a small space between our chairs. I folded my hands in my lap to stop them from shaking. "This is a conversation," Lisa said, "not an attack. Our goal is to protect employees and the company. That includes the two of you. I want you to hear that clearly." I felt some of the tension in my shoulders ease, just a little. "There have been comments," she continued, "about the nature of your relationship." She looked from Charlotte to me. "We are not here because of one rumor. We are here because Charlotte requested a transfer for you, Liam, and mentioned the potential for a personal connection in her note." I turned my head toward Charlotte in surprise. She had not told me that part. She held my gaze for a second, then looked back at Lisa. I did not want anyone to assume I was hiding something, she said. I initiated that note. Lisa nodded. I appreciate that, she said. So let me ask plainly. Are you two in a romantic relationship? The room went quiet. I could hear the hum of the air vent, the faint sound of someone laughing far down the hall. I felt Charlotte's hand move on the seat between us, slow, searching. I turned my palm up and let our fingers brush. It was small and hidden, but it steadied me. Yes, I said. My voice came out steadier than I felt. We are. Lisa wrote something down. The man from legal watched us, expression unreadable. When did this begin? She asked. We crossed the line last Saturday night, Charlotte answered. Before that, any feelings stayed unspoken. Did you ever use your position as his supervisor to give him advantage he did not earn? Lisa asked. No, Charlotte said firmly. Any promotions, raises, or assignments he received were based on his work. You can check every file and every client result. He has earned his place here. Lisa turned to me. Do you feel pressured in any way in this relationship because she is your superior? No, I said. I respect her at work, but I am not here because I am scared of losing my job. I am here because I want to be. Lisa studied us for a long moment. Then she closed her notebook. Here is the situation, she said. Relationships between coworkers are not banned, but relationships between a supervisor and a direct report are not acceptable. They create risk. You both know that. Charlotte's request to move you to a different manager is the right step. So what happens now? I asked. The transfer will go forward, she said. From today, you report to Marcus. Charlotte, you will have no formal authority over Liam's job. We will add a note to both your files about this relationship and the structure we put in place. We will expect you both to keep professional boundaries at work. No displays of affection in the building. No using your roles to influence each other's standing here. And if someone complains? Charlotte asked, calm but direct. Then we investigate, Lisa said. If we find favoritism or misuse of power, there will be consequences. But we are not in the business of punishing two adults for caring about each other if they are honest and careful. The air in my lungs felt easier. Not free, but less tight. Lisa slid 2 forms across the table. These outline our policy and the structure we discussed, she said. Sign them to show you understand. Charlotte and I read them carefully, then signed. Our names side by side at the bottom of the page looked strange and right at the same time. When the meeting ended, Lisa stood. One more thing, she said. I am not blind. I see how much you both care about your work. If this gets in the way of your performance, we will have another talk. If it does not, then the rest is your business. We thanked her and stepped out into the hallway. The door clicked shut behind us. For a second, we just stood there. Then Charlotte let out a breath that sounded like it had been held for days. That could have been worse, I said. That could have been the end, she replied. It was not. We walked back to the elevators, leaving a careful space between us. People passed us in the hall, but no one stared. To them, it probably looked like any other midweek meeting. Only we knew how much had shifted. That night, back at my house, we sat on the porch under the yellow lights. The air was cool. Cars passed in the distance. She sat with her legs pulled up on the chair, a blanket around her shoulders. We are really doing this, I said. Yes, she said. And we are doing it the hard way. The honest way. Do you regret it? I asked quietly. She turned her head and looked at me, her eyes soft and strong at the same time. I regret the years I spent pretending I did not want you, she said. I do not regret that I knocked on your door. Months passed. The gossip died down because there was nothing wild to feed it. I threw myself into the advanced team and earned my spot with late nights and big wins. Clients knew my name now. Marcus gave me harder work, not out of punishment, but trust. Charlotte kept leading her department like she always had. Firm, fair, demanding, the way people respected even when they grumbled. Some nights were still hard. An anonymous comment here, a tense review there. We faced each one together. Outside of work, we built a life. We cooked. We fought over dumb things and made up. We hiked in the mountains. She brought me to art shows. I dragged her to noisy baseball games. One Saturday, exactly a year after that midnight knock, we sat on my porch under the same yellow lights. The air was warm. Crickets sang in the grass. She leaned against my side, her head on my shoulder. Do you remember what you said that night? I asked. She smiled without opening her eyes. I said a lot of things, she said. You stood in my kitchen, I said. You looked me right in the eye and whispered that you wanted me that night. She opened her eyes and turned her face toward mine. I did, she said. I still do. I leaned in and kissed her, slow and sure. When we pulled back, she looked around at my little house, at the warm light in the windows, at the blanket over her legs, at my hand laced with hers. Everything changed, she said softly. Yeah, I said. And for once, I am glad it did. The night was quiet, but my life was not empty anymore. The boy who expected nothing good to stay had a woman who had chosen his door. The woman who carried the weight of divorce and pressure had a place she could breathe. My boss showed up at midnight and whispered that she wanted me. It could have destroyed us. Instead, it became the night we both finally started living for real.
If this story stays with your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends.